I have suffered and dealt with the same kind of medical problem now afflicting my friend Michael Jackson. Because of my own experience with addiction to prescription medicines, I traveled to Mexico City, where I saw for myself that Michael was in desperate need of specialized medical attention.
This is very difficult for me, that Michael is my brother. I love him a great deal, but I cannot and I will not be a silent collaborator of his crimes against small, innocent children.
He has made a great contribution to art, to music.
Everybody has so much respect for him because he's so talented, and his talent is so wonderful. It will never die. He will never die. He's amazing. Can nobody touch Michael Jackson.
Right.
We have to stop the prejudice. We have to stop the hating. We have to stop living in fear of our own neighbors. That's for all the children of the world. I love you.
Take a minute to project yourself into Michael Jackson's shoes and view the world from his perspective. You'll quickly realize how daunting and frightening such an experience could be. To be constantly confronted by fans, camera lenses, flashing light bulbs, clicking shutters, and cameramen jostling for position must have been an extremely disorienting, stressful, and unnerving experience.
I've never, ever, ever seen anything like that, and I hope I will never see it again, because Michael was crushed. He actually fell on the platform. Now, let me tell you this. If Michael wasn't in the shape that he is in, he would have stayed there.
It's a very, very telling thing to look at footage of Michael Jackson, because you begin to understand what it meant to live your life in the kind of media spotlight that he did.
We all need to know that we can at some point switch off and be ourselves and not be recognised and not have demands made on us. To be able to walk down the street would be a perfect scenario for someone like Michael Jackson. It tends to draw you inward because you can't escape, you can't be normal.
If you look, for example, at the footage of the ad hoc trip that he made with Uri Geller and David Blaine, we can see that immediately the press of bodies get so excited that Michael's actually knocked to the ground and he's physically threatened by this.
If you were very much an inward person anyway, it'd be very easy to take all these, take it on as a very personal attack, and for that to take you even further into that spiral and make you close away even more.
What you could be faced with when you're constantly mobbed, followed by screaming fans wherever you go, it can make people feel anxious, it can make people feel depressed, it can lead some people to sort of violent outbursts. It can do all sorts of different things to you on an emotional level.
If we look, for example, at a trip to Moscow to try and do something that any tourist would do, all he wants to do is to have a look at Red Square. Again, there's this frenzy that surrounds him, and he's thwarted in the most simple and innocent of ambitions.
Stardom is something that a lot of people dream about, and it seems a very easy life. In fact, it's a very lonely life with lots of temptations and the ability to make people paranoid as they're looking at others around them and saying, well, what do you want out of me? Why are you coming to me with this offer? What's in it for you? And a lot of hangers-on and what have you.
If people are always making a call on your life, you're always expected to behave in a certain way. It takes that control from you, and you almost become like you're acting out your life rather than living it.
When you are out there in the public arena constantly, it may be that he feels as though he has a reputation to live up to. He has to constantly perform. He's constantly under pressure, constantly under stress to make sure that he continues in the same way that he has done to date.
Everybody who's like a famous singer or pop star tries to manipulate the media. I mean, it's all down to popularity, really. That's where you get the money and the records.
Constantly in the public eye, it's always going to have its consequences. So I think he lived through the media, and the media, in a way, controlled his life.
Just wanting to better himself to become something that he just couldn't be. And I think that was part of his biggest problem.
Attention is something that we need to give and receive to be mentally well, and attention needs tend to sometimes get met negatively as well as positively, and then you become acclimatized to that environment where you're too much attention as well can be a bad thing. The brain's developed a very complex organ, and it's there to problem solve, to think things through, to find ways to find control and get needs met. If someone's constantly doing that for you, if things aren't being used, quite simply, neural connections are lost.
Straight in, take us straight in.
Michael, why did you want to come to this off in fact?
And you lose the ability to be able to do that, which can cause all sorts of mental problems. Can lead to depression, anxiety problems, problems with managing stress. Coping skills for life get diminished.
It's actually a very difficult life. And again, those who are more disciplined and have a solid foundation in terms of other aspects of their life are far more suited to it than those who, one would say, are carrying emotional baggage with them.